Welcome, everyone. Good morning to those who are gathered here in the sanctuary and to all who are joining online today. We begin this morning with a musical prelude by Scott DuVoe. Thank you, Scott. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Charlottesville. My name is Tori Goodlow. My pronouns are she, her, and I am pleased to be leading worship this morning with Pastor Lehman Bates from Ebenezer Baptist Church, who will slide in shortly. There he is. Welcome, right on time. And Director of Music, Scott DuVoe. Whoever you are and wherever you have come from, the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Charlottesville welcomes you. We are delighted you have joined us this morning and are grateful for all who have made this moment of our gathering possible. I invite us to take a moment to greet others. Those online may unmute, and those here in the sanctuary or social hall are welcome to greet your neighbors, especially those you may not know. We offer a special welcome to newcomers and invite you to join us after the service in the social hall and to sit at the newcomers table, which will have a red tablecloth. You are also invited to use one of our red coffee mugs, and UUCville members and friends are reminded to offer everyone a warm welcome to our congregation. There is a live stream of the service in the social hall. All are welcome here in the sanctuary, but if you need a roomier space, the social hall can be a good option. Those on Zoom are invited to stay online for conversation following the service. Many thanks to all the people who make Sunday morning services possible, our greeters, ushers, hospitality, and altar decorating teams, and our wonderful religious education leaders and volunteers, and our AV Tech, Nash Ford. And now we have greetings from UUCville board member, Bev Ryan.
The sun is shining, it's a little bit cold, but it's beautiful outside. As Vice President of the board, I would like to welcome Pastor Lehman Bates to our church. Thank you so much. I know I always look forward to his sermons. The other thing I just wanted to mention is we've been doing Pacham for the last few weeks. We'll be ending this coming week, and we also collaborate with Ebenezer in our Pacham effort, and bingo night, we need more of those. And I know there's more that we collaborate with, but I can't think of it right now. But anyway, thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Bev. Here are this morning's announcements. Children 6th grade and younger are beginning their morning church today in the parlor with Reverend Leah. If there are any children in that age range here in the sanctuary, we invite you to make your way to the parlor now. Our children will be making hospital meal packets as part of their worship experience this morning. Parents should pick up from Lower Hall 2 at 12:15. Again, that's Lower Hall 2 at 12:15. The UUCville Christian Fellowship is meeting today after the service in the parlor. All are welcome. Are you new to the UU Congregation of Charlottesville? Join Rev Tim and several lay leaders for 30 minutes of conversation at 12:15 here in the sanctuary. Feel free to get coffee and snacks and join us back here at 12:15. The UU-Cville Parent Support Group, affectionately known as OOPS, will be meeting today in Lower Hall 3 after the service. This afternoon from 2 to 3 p.m., there will be a protest and vigil sponsored by Indivisible. Please join Reverend Leah for Ice Out for Good, a vigil for those killed by ICE, at Market Street Park, 101 East Market Street. Indivisible invites the entire Central Virginia community to speak out against fascism. Reverend Leah hopes you will join her as we gather in solidarity with the people of Minneapolis and every community across the nation defending our families, neighbors, and friends from ICE violent attacks. That's 2 to 3 p.m. in Market Street Park. On a happier note, please plan to join us next Sunday for a very special service in celebration of the generous and historic bequest made to the church by the late Glenn Short and the extraordinary transformation Glenn's generosity made possible. We will be showing a wonderful video highlighting the many changes, thanking the committee that skillfully managed Glenn's bequest, and hearing from the UU-Cville planned giving team, who will help learn more about how you can give a legacy and make a difference for current and future generations at UU-Cville as Glenn did. A reception will follow in the social hall. Please join us. Next Sunday, the UU Young Adult Group will be meeting at 12:30 in Lower Hall 3. If you are between the ages of 18 and 35, please join us for food, fun, and creative activities. Many thanks to all the volunteers who are helping out as we host guests from Pacham. We are so grateful to all who assisted in setting up Summit House and who are helping with prep and cleanup for nightly dinners, including local faith communities. The Pacham guests will be leaving this Tuesday, and we can always use volunteers to help return Summit House to its usual setup. Please email art@uucharlottesville.org if you can help out. And finally, please join us for coffee and conversation in the social hall following the service. And now, our call to worship. For our call to worship, I offer these words by Reverend Anita Farber Robertson. Welcome to a day of hope and promise. Welcome to this place of peace and comfort. Welcome to a journey toward truth and justice. And welcome to a community of love that nurtures us, inspires us, challenges us, and helps along the way. Come, let us worship together. I now invite Sharon Bianco to light our flaming chalice. Will you please join in saying our chalice lighting words? We gather this hour as people of faith with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning in celebration of the life we share together. And now we will do our hand motions. Here we go. We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is a church of open minds. This is a church of helping hands. This is a church of loving hearts. Please rise in body and or spirit, and let us join in singing hymn number 34, Though I May Speak with Bravest Fire. The words will also be projected. are an interconnected community that cares for one another. Part of how we embody this care is by making time each week to share the joys and sorrows we hold in our hearts. Here are the joys and sorrows that were submitted prior to this morning's service. Cindy Benton Groner from our pastoral care team will be available for a few minutes after the service in the back corner of the sanctuary if anyone is in need of support or just needs someone to listen. Those online can contact the pastoral care team at pastoral@ucharlottesville.org. This community offers its love and support to what is closest to our hearts. Another way we show our care for one another is in sharing our financial gifts with our community and our congregation. Our social action collection for the month of January is for Impact. And here to tell us about Impact is UUCville member and Impact leader, Kelsey Cowger.
Good morning, friends, and special welcome to all of our guests here today. My name is Kelsey Cowger, and I'm part of the leadership team of Impact here at UU Charlottesville. I won't take too much of your time. I know we have a jam-packed schedule. I did want to say thank you to all of you for all of your support for Impact over the years, and particularly this year as we jump into a whole new cycle with a brand new issue, which is the issue of neighborhood safety, focusing on gun violence and community support. We are so eager to make some real change on the issues that we are working on. We are also continuing to work on affordable housing and transit, two issues that are pressing and all-encompassing and a profound, barrier to quality of life for a lot of people in the Charlottesville and Balmoral area. So with your continued support from the Social Action Collection and from all the work you do coming and showing up and coming to the Nehemiah Action, we are able to make the changes that we do. We are a founding member of Impact. Our relationship with Impact has been long and long-standing, and I want to say thank you again. Thank you for all your support today and every day through the action and beyond.
Thank you, Kelsey. In addition to giving online, if you would like to give today with cash or check, please use the Social Action Collection envelopes here in the sanctuary and place your offering in the collection plate. And please make your checks out to the UU Congregation of Charlottesville and write Social Action Collection or Impact in the memo line. Along with our Social Action Collection, we invite everyone to financially support the ministries and mission of this community. Through your pledges and the weekly Sunday morning offering, together our financial gifts support UU Seville and enable us to put love into action. This is our shared ministry. During the music that follows, you can offer your financial support by using the text address or going to our website. You may place cash or checks in the collection plates as they are passed. Let us now dedicate all of the many gifts we share with one another by saying, "We accept your gifts with gratitude. May we use them wisely for the highest good." Our reading today is from the Christian Old Testament, Psalm 18, verses 1 through 6. I will love you, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer. My God, my strength in whom I will trust, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. I will call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from my enemies. The pangs of death surrounded me, and the floods of ungodliness made me afraid. The sorrows of Sheol surrounded me. the snares of death confronted me. In my distress, I called upon the Lord and cried out to my God. He heard my voice from his temple, and my cry came before him, even to his ears. It is with great pleasure that we once again welcome Pastor Lehman Bates to the UU Congregation of Charlottesville. Pastor Bates and the Ebenezer Baptist Church have been good friends and partners of our congregation for a number of years, and Pastor Bates has shared many inspiring sermons from our pulpit. We have been blessed to collaborate with Ebenezer in so many ways, from offering support for their Thanksgiving collections for local families, to the support they provide when we host Pacham, and so much more. Pastor Bates is swapping pulpits with Reverend Tim, who preached at Ebenezer's service earlier this morning. And finally, congratulations to Pastor Bates, who is celebrating 20 years as Ebenezer's pastor. Congratulations and welcome back, Pastor Bates.
All right, stand on your feet. We've done this before. We'll do it again. I want you to greet at least 5 people. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Come on, quickly, quickly, quickly. I am learning something new every day. So I understand if I do this, that'll get your attention, is that? Okay, all right, all right. First of all, good morning, everyone. Now, as you were doing your meet and greet, you noticed the fact that I had some of this delicious popcorn. As soon as I walked in the door, I was given this bag, and so popcorn is good. It's really good. Yeah, so thank you, whoever was the benefactor of that. I want to turn our attention this morning. Tori was so kind to read the passage of scripture that's going to be provided for today, which is Psalm number 18. But before I do that, it's always a unique and special time for me to come, because as I share with you, I realize that I'm not just speaking to a totally Christian audience. And so, as you know, Christianity kind of has its hubris. You know, we think that, we are the only religion, and if it's our way or the highway, and I understand all that. Anyway, I would like to get a survey of all of the varying beliefs and faiths that are present here today. And so let me just do this very quickly. Those of you that identify with the Christian faith, I want you to raise your hand. Those of you that identify with your beliefs of questioning God, I guess you would be called an agnostic. Would you raise your hand? Okay. How many of you have difficulty in believing that there is a supreme power? And I guess you would be labeled an atheist. Let me see your hand. One of the things, and of course there are others, and please let me include you as well, but for purposes of this survey, I just want all of us to recognize that as we are gathered here in this one place, we have these varying beliefs. And for those of you that know the Unitarian Universalist faith and creed, what binds all of us together is that very thing called love. In Psalm number 18, this is a Psalm of David, and this is a particular psalm that I wanted to share with all of us today because we live in these very times. If you heard the reading, David begins by saying, "I will love thee, O Lord, because you are my strength." This psalm was written shortly after David was delivered from his enemies, and there is a paraphrase in Psalm 18 where it says that he was delivered from his enemies and he was delivered from King Saul. Those of you that are Bible students of the Christian Bible, of course, you know that David at this time was around 29 or 30, so he was relatively a young man. He had not ascended to the kingship yet. And yet for him to have this type of victory At such a young age, and his walk with his Creator, I believe gives us encouragement today, regardless of whatever your belief system is. My hope and prayer certainly is that if you can look into the sky, realize that there are stars, there are planets, there are solar systems, there are all the kinds of heavenly bodies. There must be, and there has to be something greater than us. And it's under that context that I'd like to use a very provocative title to give us encouragement, especially in times such as these. And for those of you that either read your newsletter or read the advance, you know that that provocative title is this: The Joker is Wild. Now, many of you are looking at me and saying, how can you tie such a provocative title into this particular psalm, Psalm 18? Well, I have to give a confession. I certainly have to give my own personal story. When I was in college at the University of Cincinnati, as you know, most colleges have what is called a union, a building where students get together and either they are studying, they are waiting for their next class. It is kind of the central location in a general university campus. And so back in my time, what we did was we spent the time not just studying, not just preparing for our next class, but we engaged in a game called Bid Whist. How many of you know Bid Whist? So I have some whist players here. And sometimes the games get so good, we will actually miss class because the game was just that good. And so for those of you that play cards, again, I don't need to tell you of what the strategy of Bid Whist is, but to hasten on, one of the unique things about Bid Whist that's also unique in several other card games is this very card, this special card known as a joker. Now, in conversational lingo, when you use the word joker, you normally use it in some of almost a pejorative way, almost in a negative way. It is a way of talking down or speaking ill of someone because of some act, some deed, some behavior, or some speech. But what I find interesting about the Joker as it is used in card games is that the Joker is a special card. It is normally a wild card. And what that means is that you determine what you want that card to be. David, in this particular psalm, Psalm 18, again, he begins with his declaration, and he says this: Lord, I will love you because of what you have done for me. And then he declares what God is to him. He says, the Lord, you're my strength. You're my buckler. You're the horn of my salvation. You're my high tower. You are the one in whom I will trust. And as a result of that, this is what he says: I'm going to call on you, Lord, because you're worthy to be praised. And I know that because of what you have done, you will continually save me from mine enemies. And so after he makes this declaration, of intent, then he deals with his condition. This was the condition that he was in. Verse number 5 and 6 talks about death and the sorrows of death. Talks about ungodly men. We can talk about that today. We can talk about how we are being squeezed, not just by persons, but now we're seeing the implosion of systems. We're seeing the implosion of global architectures, whether it be financial, political, you name it. And now we are being impacted by those collapses. And this is basically what David is saying, because keep in mind, when the king is mad at you, then that means the army is mad. The followers of the king are mad. The ones who are trying to curry favor with the king, they're mad as well. So it's just not one man against David, but he had a whole nation against him. And yet what he was able to do was he was able to call on his creator, and his creator responded. Again, the reason why I called this particular message, The Joker is Wild, is this: you and I today can be encouraged encouraged in knowing that as we are being squeezed, as we are seeing the imminent collapse of our financial architecture, the imminent collapse of our political architecture, all of these collapses that are occurring, and they're occurring at the hands of those who are ungodly. I think I just heard earlier that you were going to be having marches later on dealing with the ICE raids that have occurred. If it's the invasion of Venezuela, it's what's happening in the Middle East. And there are many other skirmishes and traumas that are occurring that we know nothing about. Now, I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I just find it interesting that whenever information is reported on unequally, that gives me cause to wonder. Why is there such overexposure of this Minneapolis ICE raid and underexposure of other types of news? I'm just happen to be one that likes to ask the questions: who, what, where, when, why, and how. And so whenever there is inequity, it should cause all of us to question. David in Psalm 18, he said, look, I'm dealing with these types of these enemies. These are enemies that are in positions of power and that can cause death and destruction to me, my family, and my community. And so what am I going to do? He says in verse number 3, I will call on the name of the Lord, who's worthy to be praised. 3 things I want to share with you, using again the title, The Joker's Wild. When I'm sitting down and playing bid whist, I've learned 3 things that will help me win more than I will lose. And these are the 3 things. You may want to copy it down for those of you that play. Number 1, in order to win, you must be willing to play your hand, whatever that hand is. Because all of us, as I'm looking out over each and every one of you, you are the sum total of all of your experiences, all of your joys, all of your sorrows, all of your successes, all of your failures. We are all on our individual journeys. And so you can look at your journey as being this hand that has been given you. And so don't try to play somebody else's hand. Play the hand that's been given you. I've learned that I end up winning more than I lose, not taking a whole lot of time wishing I had somebody else's hand or wishing that my hand was better, but doing the best I can with the hand that I'm dealt. And if I happen to get a joker, I'm going to get happy. The only problem is the joker comes in very unusual ways, because guess what? The joker can be a sickness. The joker could be a death in your family. The joker can be some type of injury or damage that occurs to you unexpectedly or suddenly. And then if that happens, what are you going to do? Are you going to turn your offense into offense? Are you going to break down? Are you going to back down? Or are you going to double down? What we're learning at Ebenezer is this: my obstacle is actually my opportunity. And so when a joker comes into my hand, whatever that joker is, it may look bad initially, but if I can turn it into an opportunity, again, I determine what I want that joker to be. And so number 1, if I want to be successful as I play my cards, I have to first of all accept the hand that I'm dealt. Number 2, I also have to recognize that not only am I going to accept the hand that I'm dealt, but I'm going to trust in the dealer. Trust in the dealer. Now, needless to say, I'm not talking about an earthly dealer, because I'm appealing to those of you that believe that there is a higher power, that believe that there is someone who orders your steps, that has a divine blueprint for you, that is ready, willing, and able to help navigate you through this course of life, because this is what he has made you to be and made you to do. And so if you believe like me in this higher power, if you believe in me of the need to have this personal connection and personal relationship to the one who has made you, who has created you, you then now have to put trust in him. And so I'm going to accept my hand. I'm going to trust in the dealer. And then conditions are going to happen in everyone's life. This is like having a bad hand. If you play cards, you're always going to have, every now and then, a bad hand. And for some of us, regrettably, guess what? We're not going to just have one bad hand, but we're going to have several bad hands simultaneously. When that happens, what do? Well, play your hand. Because what I've learned is this: it's not the bad hand, but it's the bad hand that's played badly. What David was sharing with us is the fact that because he called on God and he realized that he was not the solution, that his God was the solution, that his God will take care of his enemies, and that if he would just continually trust in him and in the time of trouble, call on him. And since we are now in 2026, and probably now the percentile is over 97% of people, especially in the US, and probably in the 80th percentile globally, every one of us has a cell phone. And so this should not be difficult to you. In the time of trouble, what will you do? You will call on the name of the Lord. When we're in trouble, we have people we call on. We have places that we're calling on. But in times such as these, as we're moving into 2026, and I don't know about you as I come to a close, I found it very unsettling when the clock turned over to 2026, because normally if you have been to New Year's celebrations, many of you have celebrated a lot of New Year's celebrations, and normally when you do, there is always excitement. There's always anticipation. There's always this ability to, out with the old and in with the new. But there was something about this. I don't know if it was just me, but there was just this foreboding. There was just this anxiety that was gripping my spirit. There was something that was unusual about moving into 2026. And I don't know if it was just me. I believe that there's some of you, as I'm looking at you, you're nodding your heads. There's just something on the horizon, something that's getting ready to happen that's reflective of many of the prophecies that have been told about times such as these. You know those prophecies, the times that are perilous, the times that we're going to see evil and we're going to see danger and destruction in a manner that has never been known in human history. And when we see what is happening in Washington and when we see what is happening globally, where maybe at one time we never thought that this would happen, we are seeing it happen before our eyes. And so as it's happening, what are you going to do? David lets us know. I'm playing this hand. I'm playing my hand. I've got this condition. This hand is a bad hand. Believe me, in this next couple of weeks, many are saying right now there are going to be more false flag attacks in January. And it's not going to be January. 2026 is going to set itself up in a way that is never known by any of us. And so when it happens, what are you going to do? I believe we're on the winning team because as many of us see this life right now as depicting a bad hand, what we can rejoice about is this: we know the dealer. He's already told us this is going to happen. And that if we make our declaration to him and if we put our trust in him, he will deliver us from our enemies. And that's the word I want to leave with you today, because again, if you're finding yourself right now in your proverbial card game, if you're traveling this journey of life, if you realize that you've been dealt with this hand that's been dealt with you, and you're trying to navigate this hand, and it's not the best hand in the world, do this: play your hand. If it's a bad hand, don't worry about it being a bad hand. Just don't play the bad hand badly. Play the bad hand the best that you can, and then trust in the dealer. And that is going to be my praise, and that's going to be my rejoicing today, because it doesn't matter what's happening right now in this world today. I can be strong, I can be encouraged, I can have joy, and I can learn how to love one another because there is a dealer that I trust in. And as I trust in him, and as he gives me guidance, and as he gives me direction, then he tells me something, he tells you something, and then you tell me what he tells you, and then I tell you what he tells me. And then we all will make it through together. And so again, if the joker is wild, Reverend, what should we do? Play your hand. When you play your hand, trust the dealer. And then if your hand is bad, just don't play your hand badly. I leave you with this very man whose son, whose name was Solomon, he said it this way: trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not into your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. May God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Bates. I now invite us to rise in body or spirit and join in singing hymn number 126, Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing. As Sharon extinguishes our chalice, here are our words of benediction. If here you have found freedom, take it with you into the world. If here you have found comfort, go and share it with others. If here you have dreamed dreams, help one another so that they may come true. And if here you have known love, give some back to a broken and hurting world. Go in peace. you.